Well, a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to Delta T Racing Thursday Night Division 2. It is the mystery track, and the mystery track has been drawn as Portimao, so we are off to Portugal. A lot of moaning and groaning, I'm sure. A lot of people, it's the one track that they don't have a setup for. So it will make it just a little bit more exciting tonight, obviously. Apologies, just getting a bit of feedback there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how everybody gets on. So couple of cars out on the track. First one is gonna be Mr. Poop Cannon himself, Magic Poop Cannon. Raced with him many times over the years. Good to see him back and racing again. Normally see him in the Mercedes. It was always his favourite car. But lining up tonight in the Aston Martin. Also out on a lap we have Rika in the Red Bull, Red Bull Racing. And Cavoli's just going out as well, so they have put their setups on. They're confident of going out and seeing what they can do. Let's quickly just pop up the table. Obviously no intro tonight because of A, mystery track, and B, the fact that I had to do the draw. I haven't had time. So Hammer currently leading the way on 97 from Hammers. So Hammers with 91 points, so 6 points of difference. Hammers winning run coming to an end last week at Las Vegas, taken over by third place TGL Stewart, who got his first victory of the season and moves up into third place on 71. Bogrovsky 62 and Kazingle on 59. Let's just get rid of this because we're starting our laps now. So we see Magic heading into turn 1 and 2, now into turn 3. This is a corner very difficult to get traction out of, but if you can get good traction, it really sets you up well for the DRS zone. 7th gear, 8th gear, hard on the brakes, left-hander. Slight camber here, taking it uphill as well. Runs nice and wide on the curb in there, gaining as much time as he can. This one, drop down a gear, cut the corner as hard as you dare. Onto the brakes. Don't want to be too low a gear here because you will lose the back end very easily. Then it's full acceleration down the hill, then up the hill round to the left, and then a blind braking zone for the right-hander here. Down the hill onto the pretty much flat left. Hard braking into the left here. I don't have corner names in front of me either, so I'm home. So onto the brakes, and then the final loop here will be going flat now across the line, so we'll see what marker Magic Poop Cannon puts down. Across the line now, and it is a 121.940, although he invalidated. So we're still looking at 121.940, so just under the 22s to give us an idea of where everybody is. Who was the next person? That was Cavolis, wasn't it? Looks like he has aborted that lap. So in between that, Rika with a 122.862. So nearly a second slower than Magic. But they are just going out doing their initial cycle laps now. Obviously the idea with the mystery track was no practice. Nobody knew, not even us as admin knew what it was going to be. That's why we did it live draw on a wheel of choices. Yesterday came up as Belgium, today has come up as Portugal. So it's just adding a little bit of, well, Mr. 19.1 by Stewart. Crikey, well, he's not hanging around already, is he? But yeah, just an element of mystery to it, just to see how people adapt, obviously with no practice. So it's quite easy to jump on and do a few hours during the week or a few hours every night, depends what time you have and how addicted you are to the game. Poop Cannon 18.390. Jeez Louise, he is like a cannon today. That is 8/10 quicker than Stewart. Yikes. Brother Adam next across the line, 19.5. Not Scully, it's the other Williams of double. 19.2 up into fourth position. We have a yellow. Why do we have a yellow? I think it's just people slowing down to let others pass. Scully, about 3/4 of the way around the track. Then we've got a Haas no, it's the... I think Poop Cannon doing another lap there. Right, stick with Scully, just coming through this. Stuart, 17.728. I'm missing everybody's fast laps here, but I will jump on with you towards the end, obviously giving you a chance to just set your sighters without being under pressure. So Hammer's up into second with an 18.0 as well, so the times are starting to come down now. Is that Scully crossing the... no. Yeah, it was Scully crossing the line. Puts in a 20.235. Now we have... I was going to say Kick Sauber's looking like they give it a toe, but they are just starting their fast lap. Okay, Brother Adam into the pits. Next up is going to be a Red Bull. Is that Hummer into the pits, but after setting a 1:18.160, so obviously he's fairly happy with his setup there. Connor putting in an 18 flat as well, 18.039. So these times are starting to tumble. Who is next across the line? That was Magic. I'm not very good with these blues. I do like they change the colour. Then we've got Wazza on an out lap. Past his teammate there. I'm not sure that would have done them any favours though. We'll have a look, see what time they come across him. We've got an Alpine just about to cross the line. Improvement on time there. Okay, so Skipper coming round towards the final sector there, and Composite aborted that lap, shall we say. The Skipper now coming across with a 19.4 up into 13th position. Wazza, let's have a look, see how he is getting on. Coming up to the end of sector 2 now. 53.1. So I think wisely some people just putting on their tyres and filling up for a few laps, just going out, get some familiarisation. One thing I don't normally do in qualifying, because it's not worth it, is to look at the tyres, but everybody has gone on the softs, so no one doing a few sighter laps on the mediums. But Wazza coming round, we'll see what time Wazza can put on the board. 18.6, so that's up into 7th position for him. Stuart coming round up on his time. And considering those tyres are, how many lap old? 4 laps, that's a bloody good time. 17.5 puts him well in front of everybody else. So next across, I think Skipper, yeah, Skipper's on a slow down lap. He will be coming into the pits. Next up, I think it's going to be Connor. So Connor slightly down, 500ths down on his best time. Coming across the line now, we'll see if he can leapfrog over. He doesn't, no. So Hammers retains second place as we stand. Hummer now coming round. Is he on an out lap? Sort of push lap. No, he's in the head of an out lap. It says out lap up at the corner now. There we go. Right, the Ferrari has jumped to Lacazis in the Ferrari. Not seen much of him at all so far. So 19.4, just about to start his next lap. TGL Stewart, sure he's going to come in and put a fresh set of tyres on and go out again. But he's probably still a couple of minutes away from needing to do that. But so in he comes. Hammers is on his out lap, so he is about to go for it. Needs to make up half a second for pole position. It's a stonking lap there by Stewart. Connor slightly up, or slightly down on his time. So if he can find just a, well, if he can find a 10th in the last sector, it would pop him up into second. But Hammers still on. Right, Hammers, as we say, just starting at that with Connor as he validates. Let's jump over the hammers and see how he's getting on. But I also don't want to... Brother Adam... Oh, he's on an outlap as well, sorry. Rika has invalidated, so let's stick with hammers for now. Let's go a bit of external shot for once. Hammers now coming round to the final sector. Let's see if I've got any track guide at all, which will give me corner numbers rather than saying he's coming round this corner and that corner. It'd be nice to actually know what the numbers are. The hammers actually abort that one. So that's Hammer doing is slightly up on his time. We'll see if he can progress that further around the lap. I think Portugal is probably one of the tracks that I don't actually have. Right, so into the final 6 minutes now, 17.3 by Poop Cannon. He has found some pace there. Then we have Berserk. Is it just about to go on a lap? Skipper will be next. Then we're looking. Hummer just starting as well. So as you would keep an eye on Hummer. 3/10 up on his lap time there. 17.8. Is he going to go for another run? I think he'll probably come in, put a fresh set of tyres on and give it another shot. Brother Adam, so 2 seconds down, so he is not going to improve on this lap. It looks like he's recharging. Whether he's going to go for another run, only time will tell. Next up is, which is the blue one? Is that the... That's Rika, right, okay. We have a yellow. I think again it's just people slowing down. But so far as it stands, Magic Poop Cannon on the pole position, TGL Stewart in second, Hummer in third, Hammers in fourth. So first and second in the championship, currently third and fourth on the grid. Connor in fifth, Lacatsis in sixth, Brother Adam seventh, Wiser eighth, Cavolis in ninth, Rika in 10th. Then we've got Berserk, Scully, Double Skipper, Composite, and Bogorovsky yet to set a lap time, but I know he is picking up his son from a function, but he will be back in time for the race. But it's just whether he can get back in time to get a lap out. I don't think he will. Right, okay, double on and out lap, Scully on a flying lap now. Bog has made it, so Bog will get a chance to go out. Just do a couple of sighter laps, if nothing else, just to get his eye in again, just get those braking points refreshed. So Bog, good to have you here. Hope your son had a good evening. Get your head in the game. You have a championship to defend. Be interesting to see what Bog's first lap out of the can is. .937, so some improvements there to do, but as I say, his first lap out of the Cola Cats is a 1.21 improvement, so he pops up into 6th position. So a good lap by Lacatsis. I'll get that right in a minute. Who do we have next? That was the Williams of Scully, I believe, has crossed the line. Next up, is going to be composite. So sorry, I'm trying to jump through these to actually find out who we are on. So composite 22, so it does improve. And Wazza, I just saw him, is he on a lap? He did improve on his time, 18.4. It's still a second off the pace. Hammers is on a lap. We'll see how he's getting on. Invalidated. So that's not going to give him any improvement at all. Bogorovsky coming round the final corner now. So he has probably just put 2 or 3 laps of fuel in. Go out and just familiarise yourself and get used to the track, ready for the race. I don't think I'll be disappointed starting at the back of the grid if it comes to it. Sometimes is the safer place to be. Right, so Stuart is on a lap and Connor is on a lap, just about to come round. I'm just trying to see who's... So no one's actually on a fast lap at the moment. Wazza is... I missed the split there as to whether he was improving. I think he was down on his time, but it looks like he's been recharging anyway. He's slow there. So lets the traffic behind through. And we are into the last minute, 45 seconds remaining on the clock. So this is it. I have no idea who that's coming round. I say the blue ones I really struggle with, so I think that's going to be a Red Bull, an RB Racing. Then we have Stuart 17.5 just starting his lap. Oh, 17.5. No, so he has improved, but not enough to get on the front row of the grid. Hammer's coming round. Double has retired from the race. Or from the qualifying anyway, and Bog pops in an 18.141, so a few laps just to get his eye in, and then pops in a quicker lap there. Next over the line is going to be, no it's not, because Rika comes into the pits. So does the Aston Martin behind. Oh, Connor, I was just trying to flick to you. 17.350 takes provisional pole position. A cracking lap there by Connor. Buchanan in the pits, so he will not improve on his time, and Bog in the dirt by the looks of it. But here comes Hammers, improves just enough and then loses it because Hummer jumps him up into second position. We've got Wazza now coming across, who jumps up into 5th. Then the Alpine of Stewart could not improve on his time. The Bog in the mud. Lukatsis has invalidated. So that is our grid for tonight. So the mystery track has, well, so a few people getting together, but Connor, I know Connor's pretty good round Portugal in fairness. So it's a track that he likes. So I think once he gets in the groove, he will enjoy himself here. But Connor taking pole position, cracking result for him. Hummer in second place, so they'll take the front row of the grid. Then Buchanan and Stewart on row 2, and Wazza and Hammers on row 3, followed by Bog and Kavolis and Bogorovsky on row 4. So who are we waiting for? Oh, so we're waiting on Bog at the moment. Obviously, after having that spin, he'll just pop over the line and qualifying will come to an end. And then we'll get ready for the race. I think it's 33 laps. On top of my head, we will find out shortly. But let's get the classified results up. And there we go, Connor taking pole position by 0.018 of a second from Hummer. Buchanan in 3rd, then TGL Stewart 4th, Wazza in 5th, Hammers in 6th, Kavolis in 7th, Bogorovsky in 8th, Lukatsis in 9th, Skipper 10th, Brother Adam 11th, Scully qualifying in 12th, Rika in 13th, 14th to Berserk Double, in 15th, and last but by no means least is Composite. So look, Jokers tonight. We have no Jokers being played at all. We still on the left, Brother Adam, Hammers, Ralph, Cavolis, Rika, Wazza, Double, Scully, Lacatsis, Little Mikey, and Hackett are all yet to take their engine penalties. Everybody on the right has already taken it. So it'll be interesting to see what races they take them at. Can't take it the next race, the 100% race, and can't use them in the sprint races either. So round number 6 today means we're halfway through the season, so not too much time left for them to take them. I'm sure we'll see those clicking up on the attendance chart at some point over the next few weeks. So jump back to the table. So Hummer and Hammers leading the way. Stewart and Bogrovsky hot on the hills. A little gap back to Kazingle. Johnny, J5 Gaming missing tonight. Unfortunate. Connor in 7th could look at a good result today to pull himself up that table. Let's get the spectator up. We'll have a quick look at tyres. We've got a little mixture there of mediums and soft. Connor going for the medium tyres. So he is going to be on the back foot for probably the opening 4 laps or so, and then the tyres will equalise, but he'll certainly have the longevity. How far can he take them before he needs to jump onto the soft tyres? We'll have to wait and see. No rain expected from what I am aware, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually looked at Discord yet, so all hell could have broken loose and I wouldn't even know. No weather, so you and I will find out. Mikey, good evening to you. See you in the chat. Yeah, I know you've hurt your back, mate. Wish you well. Nice hot bath or a hot water bottle and some painkillers, and just get yourself better. But it's backs are a bad thing because it's you realise when your back goes, it just debilitates everything. So yeah, speedy recovery, mate, as Connor said. So hopefully, how can Connor write speedy recovery in the YouTube chat whilst he's actually qualifying on pole position as well? He's man of many talents. But yeah, Mikey, get yourself well, mate, and hopefully I'll jump on for some FIFA at the weekend. Okay, so we have a selection of the medium soft. So Hummer, Poop Cannon and Stewart we would expect to be pretty hot on the heels of Connor, so Connor will obviously try and keep him behind as far as he can. Needs to manage that ERS as well. Obviously the DRS zone can be quite strong here between turns. I have found it actually, so between turns 15 and 1, obviously down the start finish line, but they will go off after a while. Just having a look down, Bog on the mediums. Okay, back of the grid, let's have a look. Composite will be the last to form up. Oh, let's get rid of the tyres. Right, so here we go. Waiting for the lights. Got a decent view for once. Unfortunately, it's a composite at the back. No, it's good to the front. So the lights are out and away we go. A decent start there from Connor, but Hummer also getting a good start and out dragging Connor down into the first turn. Just having a look back, I don't think there was any huge amount of contact. A little bit of argy-bargy a bit further back involving sort of Scully and Skipper around that area. We now have a yellow flag. Why do we have a yellow flag? I can't see anybody off, so there's no need. But Hummer taking the lead off the start. Connor quite happy in second, was saying that, decides to go for a move up the inside of Hummer. Not quite happy to be in or as happy to be in second place as I thought he was going to be, but difference in tyres. So you need to get the heat into those mediums, and I'm sure he will be a lot more comfortable once he gets those up to temperature. Letting his teammate pass there, that's really good to see actually. I don't know if they're communicating or not, but by the by, it's Stewart will be the fastest or the faster driver at the moment on those softs. But Connor not quite so keen to let Poop Cannon past him there. Kavolis and Lakatsis having a nice little battle there as well. So I think we're gonna see a few little groups forming as the race goes on. But we want to keep an eye on this front one because Stewart is closing in on the back of Hummer, so has really pulled that in. Poop Cannon and Waz are exchanging positions. Connor keeping hold of third position. Poop Cannon dropping down a couple of places there. I wonder if he went for a move, wasn't quite there, and has lost a couple of places. But Connor holding on to third place. Hammer's now up into fourth, Wazza up into fifth, Poop Cannon down into sixth. So these two have broken DRS on the guys behind. But as I say, Connor, I don't think it's going to be too disappointed with this, considering he is on the alternate strategy. So starting on the mediums, he'll be quick at the end. We'll still need to nurse them, but the car will be lighter, so it will not be as aggressive and wear out quite as much rubber. Right, anything going a little bit further back? As it all seems to be pretty well behaved so far. Long may that continue. But Stewart has broken Hummer. What has happened there? Has he pulled out a second? I wonder if Hummer has made a small mistake because Connor is closing in on him. He's nearly within that DRS zone, just needs an extra few yards to pick that up. Kavolis in 8th, Bog currently in 9th, just sitting behind the Racing Bull. Back at the front, let's have a look, see what's happening here, because we have Wazza was looking for a move up the inside of Hammers, thought about it, but then ducked his way back in, but does look as if he's going to make or go for a move going up the hill. Thinks better of it, or just doesn't have a good enough traction on that, but has Poop Cannon for company behind him, and then a gap back to Bog, who has jumped up into 7th place from 9th, so completely missed that. Looks like he's made 2 positions, whether it was a mistake or contact or just a clean overtake by him. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll tell us at the end of the race. But let's get back here. I think this is where the battling is going to happen. The gap at the front, 1.2 seconds between Stewart and Hummer. So Stewart has absolutely checked out. Could be the second race in a row that he checked out. Did it last week in Las Vegas, just completely disappeared. So Connor looking for a move on Hummer. So I think those mediums have now settled down. It's not going to be long before they equalise and then become the better tyre. Oh, great traction there by Connor out of that corner, but unfortunately runs into the back of Hammers. There was nowhere for him, Hummer, sorry, there was nowhere for him to go, but does make the move down into turn number 5 by the looks of it. So we're Alpine 1-2, but we had that at Las Vegas. It was looking so good that it all went so wrong so quickly. So Stewart, I actually thought had a drive-through penalty at one point. I'm sure my screen said that he had a drive-through penalty, but we'll just blame it on me becoming a little bit older. Okay, so this group at the front staying pretty much together. Scully picking up the first penalty of the day. Congratulations to you. Down in 11th place, picks up a 3-second time penalty. Will obviously be his third off-track limit of violation. But this little group quite happy sitting in behind Connor. Hammer's now making the move up the inside of Hummer, so that is the 2 championship leaders. Ooh. Thought they were going to make contact there, but they kept nice and clean through that. I think Wazza's going to get a good drive out of here, and he is. So Hammer's needs to fend off both of them. Obviously drives Hummer out a little bit wide there. This is going to get a little bit fruity, and you got Magic Poop Cannon just behind as well, ready to pick up any pieces. Wazza makes the move around the outside, but goes wide, opens the door again for Hummer, who doesn't need a second invitation to drive around the outside. Wazza keeping the inside, but the inside's now going to become the outside. And he is going to lose that position again. So gained it, gave it back. But we are now heading towards that long start-finish line where I think if they can get himself into the DRS, Hummer has dropped out of the DRS zone from Hammers. Just got back into it now. Has he done it in time to enable be able to have DRS? We'll find out. So look at that rear wing. We'll see if it opens. It doesn't. So Wazza will take that position. And Poop Cannon also looking for a move up the inside, putting Hummer down into 5th position. But that's how quickly you can lose 2 or 3 positions around here. Connor has hugely closed in on Stewart. I wonder if this is tactical because Connor let Stewart pass earlier. This could be some great teamwork. If they can work together, they can pull away down the start-finish line. Can use that DRS, just try and pull away from the field. Hammers on his own, 1.6 further back. Wazza now closing in to within DRS, so we've got that second group is starting to form. Hummer just popping off the back of the group here. I think his tyres might be going off ever so slightly, but 1.3 seconds behind Magic Poop Cannon now, and has Bogorovsky just 1.8 behind him, so Bog will be looking to home in on the back of that Red Bull. So further down, skip up into 10th position. Fairly decent race for him. Let's get back to the front. That's where it is all happening. So Stewart and Connor, so working together. But Hammer's got a gap to 1.4 now. I think it's 1.8. So he's managed to close it down a little bit, which is a good effort considering he doesn't have the DRS. He's got nobody to help him at all. And he has a heck load of pressure from Wazza behind him. And believe me, if Wazza comes up behind you, it's an incentive to drive quickly. The Berserk also with a penalty I just noticed there. Assume that was a 3 second for corner cutting as well. So Stewart just dropping out of DRS. So Connor will be able to recharge his battery a little bit at the moment without having to worry too much. But Stewart 1.4 behind, and what he has done is opened up the door for Hammers, who has DRS now. So Hammers will close on the back of Stewart. That can be so costly, just losing that 1 second gap. I say what was a 1.4 second gap a lap ago is now down to half a second. Connor just 1.2, 1.3 up the road there. So he's on the harder compound on the mediums, so he will be able to go a little bit longer, probably take it to about that 20, 21, maybe 22. We're probably looking at about 12 laps or so on the softs before we're looking at the pit stops. So Magic just on the back of this group. Lakatsis having an off-track moment, but manages to regather it. No safety car, so back to the front. The gap really does open up around that final sector. Connor manages to pull almost a second. Oh, Stewart into the pits. Hammers, I think, was following the slipstream, but nearly got suckered into coming into the pits there. So Hammers now up into second place. So an early stop by Stewart. What we'll do, have a look at the tyres just to see what everybody is going on to. But Stewart is going to come out. Where's he going to come out? 13th. No, I think he's going to lose these 2 positions here as well. Might just get out in front of the Ferrari. No, it doesn't. So Stewart down into 15th, but has made all the pit stops that he needs to. Berserk and Skipper battling away. Looks like Berserk has just made up a position on the outside of Skipper. So Berserk up into 9th position. The poop cannon just dropping off the back of the Wazza Hammers 2-pack. Really needs to make sure he stays within the DRS there. But Hammers and Wazzers starting on the mediums as well. So on the same strategy as Connor, 2.5 seconds further back, they'll be looking at trying to chip away at that lead. If they work together, they can do it. But if they start fighting, they will lose 1/2 to 3/4 of a second a lap, if not more. Wazza itching to make the move there, but decides against it. Scully and Berserk. Oh, Hummer. So Hummer is now into the pits. You see someone tumbling down the grid. So Hummer, is he going to come out? Where's he going to come out compared to Stewart? That is the question. So Stewart coming down the start line now, and is easily ahead of Hummer, who has only just exited the pits. So Brother Adam and Skipper. Skipper losing 2 positions in 2 laps there to the 2 Mercedes. So Berserk did it on the lap number 9, and composite just taking a bit of evasive action there. Stewart much quicker on those fresher tyres, looking for the move up the inside. I want to minimise as much damage as possible, but if he can get past the Catsis, he's then got 9.5 seconds of empty track ahead of him. But this trio, 3.1 seconds now behind Connor. So Connor's actually managed to pull out 7/10 over that lap. That's a good effort. So I do know Connor's, very good at Portugal. He's also very unlucky. But fingers crossed tonight might be his night. But I'm not going to talk about that because there's always commentator's curse. What we are going to look at is Wazza moving up into 2nd place. So it's time for him to give the toe to Hammers and Magic Poop Cannon for a while. Magic, I think, is going to start struggling on those softs soon. They're doing really well to keep within the 2nd and within DRS. So obviously just keep himself in contention because of that. Bog in 5th place, also on the medium. So he won't be looking at stopping for about another 10 laps or so. Stewart has now cleared Latsis and up into 12th place, so gap now just under 9 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on that just to see how that tumbles down. Double not needing to pit yet. Skipper, I think, will come in soon. I think some of these soft tyres will decide to ditch it. Hammers taking the lead now, so he will become the tower as opposed to the towee, but 3.9 seconds behind Connor. Connor's certainly having the pace, and if Stewart can, if Stewart can take those hards to the end, which he can, and he can get himself right back up to the front, they have the pace for a 1-2. So really becoming a threat to the Mercedes this year, the Alpine drivers now. But Connor, there he is. Haven't got anyone else in the shot. Nearly 4 seconds, nearly broken that 4 seconds. Have a quick look at the constructors actually. Alpine a little bit further back than I thought actually, 118 points as opposed to McLaren leading the way on 153. but with so many points still on the board, that can be obliterated in next to no time. But Red Bull holding steady, 122 points. The majority of those obviously coming from Hummer. But then we've got Aston Martin, Ferrari, Haas, Racing Bulls, Sauber, Mercedes and Williams coming up the rear at the moment with just the 9 points. So the gap seems to have stabilised a bit to Connor at the moment, keeping it round that 4 seconds. But it seems to be this sector coming up that Connor makes up so much of his time. Let's have a look. I mean, it was 4 seconds, we're now to 4.3, 4.4. 4.5, Berserk and Scully. We've had a bit of contact back here. I think perhaps with the Mercedes and the Williams of Scully. Can't see anybody with any damage, so we should be okay there. The gap 4.4 seconds. 4.3, 4.4. They are on to the start finish line. So it's about 0.4 that Connor's pulled out just in pretty much a sector and a half. But he does seem so good through that final sector. Let me see how that goes when his tyres come off. The Catsis, I think he's had a little bit of a spin there, lost his front right end plate as well. So he'll be, I think it's probably time for him to come in now, ditch those and put a set of softs on. Poop Cannon as well has pitted. Where's he going to come out compared to Stewart? Not too far behind, to be honest. And Poop's gone for the mediums to the end of the race, which is pretty much the strategy is soft to medium or medium to soft. But with the option of going onto the hards if you want to come in early. Can take it long there. Skip it into the pits. The Catsis also into the pits. So I think, is that everybody on the softs has now pitted? Yes, they have. Gap at the front opening to 4.6, 4.7 seconds. So Connor keeping that pretty constant. No sign of him coming into the pits yet. But what I have noticed is Weiser has disappeared off of the back of Hammers. So I think he might have made a small mistake. Coming and ditching those tyres. He's got 18 laps to go. He's surely going to have to go for a set of hards because he's not going to get the softs 18 laps without them exploding, I wouldn't have thought. Let's see what tyre choice he goes for. Wazza does indeed go for the hards, so they will get him to the end of the race without too much of an issue. But I think if he was struggling, it was probably the right move. But hello. Second and third, we're now looking at McLaren. So silently, Bog has just made his way up the field. Obviously with the pit stops of the alternate tyre strategies has elevated him slightly, but just going about his business as per normal. Hammer's 5 seconds behind Connor now. Almost whether it's worth looking at the undercut, but I think Hammers wants to go and I think he'll probably want to go onto the softs. We'll keep an eye on Connor to see if he's going to pit. He's not, so he's going to carry on. The Hammers is going to carry on as well. So I just wondered if one of them might take a gamble and do an undercut onto hards, although they will be softer, oh sorry, slower towards the end. They could bridge that gap. Right, so any close battle. So we've got Poop Cannon and Stewart. So this was the de facto second place in Stewart. Made a pit stop early on. I think it was just losing on those softs. Probably went a little bit too aggressive too early. And maybe burnt them out a little bit too quickly. But now on the hard tyres, which will make it easily to the end of the race. And Cavolis, any contact there? No, we've still got their end plates, so that's good to see. Right, okay. Keep an eye on this one here, because Stewart also closed onto the back of double now, so he's going to get the tow, and he's going to get the DRS. So Poop Cannon probably won't be able to make them. Mind you, might be able to if you get a double tow with the DRS, a bit of ERS as well. You can slingshot 2 cars in front of you. Mexico's a good place for doing that, as is Monza. Magic all over the back of Stewart now, and Stewart all over the back of double. There we go, double overtaken on either side. On the right by the Aston Martin and on the left by the Alpine. So double losing 2 positions from 6th down into 8th position. But Stewart now recovering to 6th. Poop Cannon in 7th. Gap at the front is coming down now slightly. So I wonder if Connor's just struggling a bit on those tyres and Hammer's dealing with it a little bit better. But gap down to 4.5. 16 laps to go, including the one that we're on. Yeah, they both continue, so absolutely no sign of putting on a set of hards. So I think these guys at the front are stretching out as much as they can to go onto the softs. Oh, Poop Cannon makes a move up the inside of Stewart there. Stewart getting a poor exit out of turn number 14. And now it is a drag race down the start-finish line, and Stewart does take the position back. I think he had the DRS. I think Poop Cannon just made the move and lost DRS. But what this is doing is he's bringing Wazza back into it. So he's only a couple of seconds down the road now. Scully and Skipper, not Skipper, sorry, Brother Adam having a bit of a ding-dong down here. I saw they changed a few times over a couple of corners, so I think they've been sort of moving backwards and forwards on positions. Wazza now on the back of double. I expect him to go for a move up into 7th position along this start-finish line. Poop Cannon all over the back of Stewart. We're looking to take that 5th position, and with the DRS, which Stewart does not have the luxury of, and the faster tyres. Sure, we'll look at making a move down this start-finish line. He's not using any ERS, so I think he is just... Berserk now into the pits. Set of hards to the end of the race, so obviously he had enough of those tyres. Stewart and Poop Cannon have changed position. Coming up to turn number 5. So along that small DRS zone there. So Poop now ahead. Poop. I love that name, Magic Poop Cannon. Has already pulled 8 tenths on Stewart, so Stewart needs to keep within that DRS. So he's on the harder compound, so they are going to go longer, but they are 5 laps older than Magic Poop Cannon's in front. Connor into the pits, so 13 laps to go. He bolts on a set of softs. So that's an early stop. So he's still got, this is lap 20, so it'll be 14 laps he'll need to do on those. It is doable, but they are going to be a little bit crappy for the last couple of laps. But if he's got a big enough gap, he's not going to care. Brother Adam on the back of Scully. Teeny bit of contact there, but nothing too major. But what it has done is it's just allowed Scully to just disappear up the road a bit and negate the threat of the DRS being activated. So now 0.8 ahead, so Scully looking to move away. Hammers into the pits. Does that mean Bog's going to follow? It is. So we're going to have a double stack for McLaren. I think 6.5 seconds between the two will be enough for the pit crew to reset. So Hammer's going on to a set of softs and he is off. And as he pulls out, Bog pulls in. Slight delay there, but pretty good by the McLaren guys. Also on to a set of soft tyres. So Bog as well is going to be rapid towards the end. But Connor coming out in the lead and with a healthy lead of 6.2 seconds. Hummer now up into 7th as Bog behind him. A couple of seconds or 3 seconds back, but on those soft tyres compared to hards, Bog should close him down at a rate of knots. So Hammer's now with the switchback, and what a switchback on Wazza there. And Wazza going deep into turn number 5. And Hammer's just undercutting him and say, thank you very much, Wazza! There it goes, the 3-second time penalty for Wazza. Do you know, I thought you were going to upset me tonight and go a whole Grand Prix without a penalty. Thank you, my friend, for not letting me down, Wayne. I appreciate it, mate. But Hammer's now passed. Fresh softs should canter away. We'll see how quickly he can close in on the back of Stewart, because Stewart is struggling. 2.6 seconds back on Poop Cannon now. They were fighting for position just a couple of laps ago. Connor just rubbing salt into the wound really there by just putting in the fastest lap of the race. But Poop Cannon 7 seconds behind. Then we have Stewart. Hummer going for a move on Waz. No, he's not. Sorry, going on double, but it was because of the pit stop. So doubling Scully now becomes the lead. Williams. Right, let's get back to the front because Hammers is closing hand over fists on the back of Stewart and will be making a move as quick as he can, even as early as this next corner. There's a little bit brave on the inside, but he does it. Manages to keep a couple of tyres on the track there, so I didn't pick up a warning from what I can see. But Hammer's now up into 3rd position, 2.5 seconds behind Magic. We'll see if he can eke into that lead, but it does mean he's about nearly 10.5 seconds behind Connor now. Skipper kind of just holding on to the back of Berserk there, but we do have the tyre differential. Bog now closed that gap down on Hummer to 1.3 seconds, but catching is one thing, overtaking is another. And then it's how much further he can make it up. Up the field, sorry, I was going to say. But Hammers looks like he's flying. Purple Sector 1 there on his next lap as well. But what he doesn't want to do is overheat these tyres and work them too hard because they are going to burn out quickly. So he needs to do an element of looking after it. But with a 9-second gap to the leader, you want to get past as quick as you can. But he is bringing that down. As I say, Connor doesn't need to push, and he can look after his tyres, which will mean they're in a better position towards the end of the race. Whereas Hammers could be fried on his tyres, but we'll see. So we have 11 laps, including the one that we are on. So soon to be 10 laps of racing left at Portimao. So round number 6, so the halfway point of the season. Hammers sets another fastest lap of the race and makes the move on Magic. It goes very, very wide there. Wants to be careful he doesn't pick up a penalty here. But Hammers up into second place, 9.2 seconds behind Connor. I think Connor will see that, see the tyres and think, right, okay, perhaps I need to just stretch my legs a little bit. But as I say, with 9 seconds, you really need to. Is there any threat till it gets down to 3 seconds? The only difficult part is if you switch off, is switching back on again. So Connor out a little bit lonely at the front. I've not showed much of him, which I do apologise for, but he's just been on his own. Looks like he is coming round to lap composite. Expect them to be moving out of the way soon. Hammers another fast lap, 18.962 now, so gap down to 8.6. So he is nudging away at it, lap after lap after lap. But as I say, he just doesn't want to burn those tyres out. So it's going to become increasingly difficult as the race goes on. Stewart on the back of Wazza. Bog a further 6 seconds down the road. Berserk and Skipper swapping positions there. So Berserk up into 10th, Skipper down to 11th. Stewart's starting to look a little bit punchy again now, so I wonder if he's just got through a rough patch with his tyres and now feeling a bit more confident, where the Wazza after 10 laps is now starting to go through almost like a graining period, I suppose, with the tyres, just where they feel absolute rubbish for a few laps. Then I don't know if you get used to it or whether they do clear up, but or perhaps it's just me. Stewart there does make the move on Wazza down into turn number 1, so obviously DRS assisted, but track position now going to Stewart. A 5.9 second gap to Magic ahead of him. That might be a bridge just too far, especially with Wazza wanting to take the position back, going to turn number 5. Makes a clean move up the inside and back up into 4th position. So I can see the Haas and the Alpine perhaps swapping a few positions, or the positions a few times before the end of the race. But also, yeah, don't forget Havoc Connor and TGL Stewart, they both stream on Twitch. So if you want to see the race from their POV, then I suggest you pop onto Twitch afterwards and look them both up, and you can see the race from their point of view. Don't forget to give them a subscribe, and I don't think you can give a thumbs up on Twitch, but wait there, give a thumbs up to this. We've got no thumbs up whatsoever on this stream yet, so disappointed with that. Right, so gap at the front stabilising around about the 8.5 second mark. So I think Connor just picking up his pace ever so slightly. So it's not really a threat until it comes down, but the thing is, if you see the gap coming down, it puts an element of panic into you sometimes. And yeah, I think you just need to pick up that pace more just to satisfy your mind that you can do it. The thumbs up. Thank you, Summer. Understand I think you're new to the league. Introduction from Connor. So it'd be good to see you on track at some point. Obviously, we just need some time trials, etc., off you, and then we can get you placed in the division. Probably with Connor in this division, in Division 2. But welcome to Division. Thanks for looking in. Right, so this battle's still going on. Stuart now making the move down into turn number 1, but this seems to be, oh, bit of contact there. Wazza just making slight contact with Stuart at the front left, but I don't think there was any damage there. But this is where Wazza seems to make the move. It looks like Stuart went a bit wide, and Hammers just took advantage of it. So someone's saying, I am, yes, Connors is my teammate in another league. Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest, if Connor recommends someone, then it's a pleasure to have you in the league. Hopefully you're enjoying the comms. There's a better comms on Wednesday night. VB Thomas does an absolutely great one. But yeah, it'd be good to be, hopefully I'll be commentating on you next week. So gap at the front, 10.3 seconds. I think Connor has licked the stamp and sent it on this one. 4 laps to go. I think he's looking quite comfortable out front. No, I'm not going to say it, no. Give me 2 laps and then I'll say what I was going to say. Just in case. Poop Cannon 3.1, 3.2 behind, so just dropping off the pace now. Hammers penalty, I missed that. Jesus, Hammers. 3.7, so you're only 0.7 ahead. We got a why have we got a yellow flag? Sure, I think that is just the back markers getting out of the way. And fair play to Composite, right? How much? So yeah, 3 seconds. Everyone with a 3-second penalty. We'll get rid of the tyres now because everything is going to happen in this final lap. But yeah, Hammers 3 seconds is only 0.7 clear of Poop Cannon now. Kind of sitting there going, yes, now got a 12.5 second lead. So he didn't even have to put in a fast lap and gain 3 seconds. In fact, I'm going to jump on board with Connor because I'm feeling very, very guilty that we have not showed him at all. But he has just literally opening few laps, got some heat into the tyres, was so sporting in letting his teammate past as well. Obviously, I'm sure something that Summers is going to be aware of. But yeah, letting TGL Stewart pass because he was on the faster tyres. Talking of TGL Stewart, also picking up a 3-second penalty now. But yeah, letting him pass. Then I think once his tyres became better, obviously Stewart let him back pass before he overtook him anyway. And since then, Connor has just looked comfortable. Stretched those medium tyres out as long as he could. Come in and put the softs on to take him comfortably to the end of the race. So Hammers has now stretched that gap out to 4.1, so really, I mean, he's got about a second gap over Poop Cannon behind him. So I thought the Berserk was going to go for a move there. We've got Rico Lakatsis exchanging positions down in turn 1. Lakatsis looking to get in that position back. Little bit of contact there. I saw some carbon fibre going, but I don't think anyone... Oh, he has, yeah. Lakatsis has lost his front right end plate. So that's going to make his stability a little bit undesirable going into Sector 3. Stewart still having this race-long battle with Wazza. So before, I think he was quite comfortable just sitting behind because Wazza, with that 3-second penalty, he knew he would overtake him. But Stewart, now with his own penalty, needs to make the move on track. But also has Bogorowski only 2.6 seconds behind him. So if Bog could reel that gap in, if he can gain about a second, he can gain 2 positions, could jump himself up into 4th place here. So Skipper and Berserk still battling away down for the final point paying position in 10th. And Skipper currently 11th, just half a second behind. But we have a collection of penalties down there as well. But this is the closest battle we have on track, so I'm getting Wazza. Right, okay, well Stewart doesn't need to go for it. Bog is pretty much guaranteed a top 5 as long as he keeps it on track and doesn't lose too much time. Stewart is round. Not sure if there was contact there or whether that was just trying to avoid anything, maybe losing it a bit on the tyres, but Stewart is round, drops a position to Bogorowski and drops a long way back, 2.2 seconds behind Bog. So 3, 4, so yeah, lost about 3.5 seconds there. But that's good for Bog. Bog now up into 5th position, penalty free. 2 seconds behind Wazza, currently looking at a net 4th position for Bogorowski. That's keeping it steady there. Let's just check the penalties, make sure no one has eked into another 6 second that I didn't know about. They haven't, so no, it's just Wazza with the 6 seconds, everybody else with the 3. And with not too many battles going on track, I am going to give this man a lap of airtime. And so I don't think he got his qualifying lap together, otherwise I think he would have been higher up than he was, but no, higher up, he pole position, wasn't he? But yeah, initial getaway was good, especially on the mediums, being surrounded by people on the softs. Managed to keep the pace, make the moves when he needed to, timed his pit stop well, came out with a 9-second gap, managed that pretty much throughout the second half of the race. Now it's an it's about an 8-second gap, but with that penalty as well, so it's an 11-second gap. Buchanan just a little bit further back in 3rd, 6.2 seconds, but we'll be looking at a podium. Back to Connor as we come through the last few corners. Here we go through turn 13 up to turn number 14. Round the long right hander onto the start finish line, and Connor takes victory in the Mystery Grand Prix round number 6. Congratulations, Connor. Absolutely deserved that, mate. Really pleased for you. I didn't want to say anything too soon because I didn't want to put a commentator's curse on you, but well done. Absolutely chuffed. Great drive. Fully deserved. Hammer's taking 2nd place. Buchanan will come home in 3rd. Wazza will cross the line in 4th, but will lose the position to Bogorowski. TGL Stewart will come home in 6th. And then Hummer, championship leader, comes home in 7th position. Cavolis will fill the 8th position and crosses the line now. We've then got Scully picking up points again in 9th. Berserk will come home in 10th position, picking up the final point, so he does win that battle that he had with Skipper for probably about the last 5 or 6 laps for that final position. Double jumps the pair of them. Well, Double picks up the 10th position. Well, actually, so double points finish for Williams. Palais will be happy. Rika comes home in 13th. And Lacazzi will be 14th, and obviously Brother Adam and Composite unfortunately lapped, but still finished the race. But Connor, I can't speak highly enough of you today. I think you've just been, yeah, total dominant performance. Congratulations. We will get the official results up now. I can read those out. I can then say goodbye and give my voice a bit of a rest, and give your ears a bit of a rest for my voice as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, isn't it? Yeah, there we have Connor connecting his trophy. I think first one of the season as well for him. No first win. I don't think he got the hat trick though. I think he got pole position, the win. But I think fastest lap. Not sure if it went to Hammers or whether somebody pinched it at the end there. Andy, thanks for coming. No problem, mate. And good to see you on track, Andy. It really is. So hopefully we'll see you back next week. But right, official results are in. So Connor taking the dominant win, Hammers in second place, and Magic Poop Canning rounding out the podium. Bogowski from 8th to 4th. Then we got Wazza in 5th position, TGL Stewart in 6th. 7th go to Hummers, 8th Cavolis, 9th Scully, 10th Double, 11th Berserk, 12th Skipper, 13th Rika, 14th Lacatsis, 15th Brother Adam, and 16th goes to Composite. So that brings to an end round number 6. I say Mystery Grand Prix. So it was a complete mystery to the drivers. They didn't know what track it was going to be, didn't know if they'd have set up, and we had no safety car. We had some really good racing out there, minimum incidents. So perhaps we should just do a mystery track every week. I look forward to your comments in the Discord server. But no, well done, Division 2. Some great racing. Congratulations, Connor. Really, really good race. I say Stuart, unlucky, had good pace there today. But so for Hammers as well, and for Poop Cannon, congratulations on your podium. So we'll be back next week. Where are we next week? Let me just pop up the calendar. So today was the mystery track. Obviously, next week we are Yas Marina. So Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That'll be interesting. So normally get some good racing there as well. But we'll be back next Wednesday with Division 1, where VB Thomas will be giving us one of his wonderful commentaries. I'll be back for Division 2 on Thursday. I wish you all a good evening. Have a lovely weekend.